Hi again. Okay, so first up, this is not a rant against global warming and climate change. I'm not questioning that at all in this video. What I am questioning is the ridiculousness of the hype and the stories and the rent-a-mouths that we're currently hearing on the media regarding the warm spell of weather that we are going through at the moment. There's a story doing the rounds that this is the longest spell of temperatures above 34 degrees since the 1960s. Now, I've heard already a couple of times today crazy phrases like this is virtually unprecedented. Well, either it's unprecedented or it's not. It's a little bit like being slightly pregnant. You can't be. You're either pregnant or you're not. So this phrase, virtually unprecedented, is absolute nonsense. Like I say, there seem to be lots of rent-a-mouths out there at the moment who have decided that they're going to try and make a living by screaming about climate change and global warming. Now, like I say, I'm not doubting the science that we're seeing out there at the moment, but what we are seeing is science in action, a developing story. Unfortunately, it is very one-sided. I'd like to see you try and get some research grants to undergo research that may possibly suggest that climate change either isn't as vigorous as it was predicted to be, or even, God forbid, that goes against the received wisdom of the climate change, or at least the human-induced climate change story. But I was listening to a radio interview earlier where the person that was being interviewed actually stated further rubbish, talking about how temperatures were now warmer than they had been, and that was down to global warming and climate change. And then went on to say that our nighttime city temperatures are higher because we have built in those environments, extended the amount of concrete and tarmac that we have. So nighttime temperatures don't fall as much and daytime temperatures get higher. Well, that's nothing to do with carbon dioxide. That's nothing to do with that side of global warming. What that is to do with is the fact that we're building more and putting more concrete and tarmac down, which absorbs the heat during the day, makes the days hotter, and then releases the heat more slowly overnight, and therefore makes the nights warmer as well. That's what that is. There is not this crazy link back to increased temperatures and the climate change story. So take a look at the actual story that the Met Office released, talking about these temperatures being above 34 degrees for the longest period since the 1960s. Well, in the 1960s, we weren't even thinking about climate change. And when you look at the graph of temperatures, the hockey stick graph, it's that final part of the hockey stick graph in the last 20 or 30 years that is focused upon for the increase of temperatures. It wasn't in the 60s. So the idea that somehow the temperatures that we've got at the moment are driven by climate change is complete rubbish, and trying to make that link back to climate change is complete nonsense as well. You cannot attribute a single weather event such as the one that we're going through at the moment to human-induced climate change. It just cannot be done. Now, like I said at the beginning of this rant or soapbox or whatever you want to call it, I am not questioning climate change. God forbid that I did such a thing. But I'm not questioning climate change. What I am doing is questioning the pseudo-scientists and these pseudo-forecasters who are going on the media spouting off about climate change, attributing what we are seeing to climate change, instead of saying we cannot make that attribution at this stage. It appears to be part of a longer term trend that we are seeing more extremes of temperature, but we cannot attribute a single event back to climate change. That's what we should be saying. Yes, it's warm, but what on earth do you expect for the first part of August, given the current synoptic setup that we have? It gets hot in early August. That's what happens if you get the situation that we have now. This is not evidence for changing climate. This is not evidence of anything that we haven't seen before, because quite frankly, we have. What this is evidence of is the media not having much to talk about because it's silly season, and then a heap of rent-a-mouths quite willing to go onto the media to try and promote their interests or their website or their business, and knowing that the media will fall for it. Let's stick to the science, because science is good, and science is what enables us as a species to advance. So let's stick to the science. Let's tell it as it is. Yes, let's get very excited about it being hot for so long, but let's not try and say that this is evidence of a changing climate, because quite simply, you can't do that. There is no attribution back to a single event. You just can't do it. You're talking nonsense. I'll leave you with that for now. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep the sun shining. Bye for now. What this is evidence of is the media not having a great deal to talk about, of a heap of, I won't say failed, of a heap of pseudo-scientists and presenters who are trying desperately to hold on to some sort of grip on the media to give them some sort of outlet, getting out there and being quite happy to spout about climate change to try and make a dollar. Right, I think I'll leave you with that for now. I think that says all that I want to say on the subject. Not that I'm bothered by it, of course. You can tell, can't you? Okay, I'll leave you with that for now. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.